Hello everybody, it is Liam, the Deaf Doom Metalhead, and this is the last collection update of the year from me. It's been an amazing year for music, and this video is a really special one because all the music I'm going to show you is gifts from other people. Now, I'm not going to do like a whole show and tell thing, look at me, I got some special gifts. These are generally all amazing albums and bands that people kindly gifted to me, and it's just amazing. So I really want to share it with you. I mean, I didn't have to do a video for this stuff, you know, these are gifts, but some of the stuff is incredible, and and some of the stuff I want to kind of promote, and you can get into it and hopefully discover some new music from it. So I want to talk about some zines first. This one was a new one to me, and it is really cool. This is Scars magazine. Now I believe these guys are based out in the kind of west side of the UK, like Bristol way, and this is a zine more focused on the kind of black metal underground with like other bands involved in that kind of area of it, but also it kind of branches out into other things. And it was a really cool read. I mean, I do love zines a lot, like especially like you can probably see behind me. I have my music books and stuff like that I read quite regularly, and especially this time of year with the whole Christmas stuff. I like to sit down when I can and try and read in silence with the kids not bothering me. But this was really cool. And some of the interviews in here, you got loads of really cool stuff actually. Like I forget his name now. Is it Dungeon Master? I don't know. That guy there. He was in Cradle of Filth. I can't remember what the project is called, but it's like a kind of black metal dungeon synth kind of thing that everyone's talking about. And then you've got an interview with Hell Ripper in here, Dragged into Sunlight, who I remember speaking to years and years ago when Desecresy were very much in their infant stage, and I confused them with Daylight Dies, and I was talking about doing a show with them, and I realised actually who they were, and it fell on its arse very quickly. There's Cryptworm in there, nice black and white zine, but just really well written, well put together. There's reviews in there, promotions for underground labels, all sorts of stuff you want to see. So if you haven't checked this out and you like to collect zines like I do, and like to support the underground like I do, get involved. I'll leave a link below and you can go check it out for yourself. But there's one with Mr. James McBain from Hell Ripper, that's a good read as well. So yeah, really cool, that one. And then also, I updated my Choppin Headz collection. I've showed this before on the channel. The latest 2 issues of this. I mean, I was due this one, and then this one was just out as I ordered it. And these cost nothing, so well worth picking up as well. Really cool zine. Kind of combine horror, heavy metal, and kind of in a tongue-in-cheek kind of way. It's really fun. This one's in colour as well, so you get kind of more arty kind of stuff in there as well. Cinema, like classic 80s shitty films. But the nice surprise was, and I generally didn't know this was in here until I was told by the guy, Evil Ed. Sinister's mentioned in there as well, Consecration next to Vacuous, right at the end. I generally didn't know that was in there, so that was a really nice surprise. So thank you for that. So I'm in the latest issue of Choppin Headz, which is really cool. And yeah, I mean, look at all the artwork, it's just fucking awesome. Really cool. So I'll leave a link below to that one as well, because that's got me in it. So yeah, wicked stuff, really cool. But these packages are amazing, and these are 2 well-known people. If you're a part of the kind of YouTube community and the underground kind of music scene, like the show vinyl and that kind of thing, you'll know these 2 chaps quite well. First collection update I'm going to show you from is a guy called Simon, who goes by the name Pieface. He comments on nearly every kind of VC music-inspired YouTube channel going. He's very much a supporter of that. I don't think he probably even watches normal telly. I'm fairly sure. I'm going to raise my camera. I'm fairly sure he just watches YouTube permanently because he keeps up with so many different channels. And he just messaged me out of the blue to say, I've just sent you something to your house, because I've spoken to Simon for a while now. And he didn't tell me what it was. It was just a complete surprise. It was from Amazon. And he fucking sent me this. It's the Autopsy, what's it called? After the Cutting special kind of compilation book from Peaceville that put out a few years ago. I mean, how he knew I was even after this, I'll never know, because it is one of those ones that my want list is a fucking mile long, and it goes on and on. And more people I talk to now, it seems to just ever grow. And I think it was Metal Marty Mac and his YouTube channel that showed this, and that kind of spurred me on, because I've got the My Dying Bride one, and I know there's an Akercocke one. And yeah, I mean, this is just an amazing gift, absolutely amazing. It's got basically their best of, really, of all their music on 4 discs and some rare cuts. But then a biography of the band with full colour print and all the art and interviews, and it is just amazing. And I haven't been able to sit down and read it properly yet because like I say, a luxury for me to read anything for more than an hour. And it's incredible. Like, there's some wicked pictures in here if it opens. Yeah, there you go. Look. Photos of the lads and stuff like that. So yeah, it's like basically like an autobiography of the band with a shitload of music on top. This was actually released in 2015, so it's been out a while now. So yeah, I mean that was hands down amazing. You know, I don't expect anything from anyone ever. My tripod seems to be falling down, so I do apologise. But then he sent me a box of CDs, and this is mostly black metal bar a few. And you know, again, floored by these, you know, because I'm really in a black metal kind of kick at the moment. That's kind of like my normal genre now, and I keep saying it, and I don't really need to anymore because it is just normal to me. But again, it's only like been a couple of years now. But he sent me some wicked albums. So the first one he sent me was Satyricon's, is it Rebel 69? Is it? I can't remember what it's called. Rebel Extravaganza. That's it. This is their fourth album from 1999. I kind of like him now at the moment with my hair because it's all gone. But yeah, I mean, what's this one? So this is kind of in the vein, it's not like their very early stuff, which I absolutely love. This is more going towards what they then are now known for, that kind of rocky kind of black metal style that they do now. Because I got into them as Now Diabolical, I think was the first album I heard from these guys. And, you know, I don't think they've ever put a bad album out for me. And this just goes along, you know, most people know Satyricon, so I don't really need to say too much about it. But yeah, a wicked album. But then the rest of these, I had no idea what they were. Now this one, I'll give you no idea what it is. It's got some kind of secret kind of text on it. And even inside, it doesn't really tell you anything. Now this is actually a British band. This is a band called Blind Spite, that I think are no longer together. They were based out of Carlisle. Formed in '96, and this is their second EP from 2014. And this is a kind of blackened death metal band. Really cool. I mean, it's not very long either. I think it's probably about half an hour long, if that. It's just really to the point, kind of in that kind of Zyklon kind of style, if you know that band, that were kind of ex-members of Emperor. It's that kind of vein where it's black metal, but it's also death metal, and they blend the two seamlessly. But as a UK band I've never heard of before. So yeah, Blind Spite, that was really good. And then this one, again, never heard of them before. This is a Dutch black metal project, one-man black metal project, and this is their demo. So this is, if I can print out, I've written down in English, Zelfhaat. I don't know what that means, but this is the demo from 2007. This project formed in 2006, so it's all his early work. I think he's still going, and he's put out some more polished music. This is very raw. Obviously, it's a demo, black metal, very miserable. Which is, you know, my kind of jam. You know, I love miserable music. I mean, there's a person hanging themselves on the Z there, which is pretty cool. And yeah, just raw, horrible black metal, and yeah. What more do you need to know about that? And then he sent me this one, which was a split between two Ukrainian black metal bands. Ones I've never heard of. One was Nocturnal Amentia, and the other one was Underdark. And this is their split that they put out in 2011. And this is a hand-numbered split as well by a Satanic Records, I think it is. I'll have to put the notes below as I show these. You'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I mean, this just goes. I mean, especially, was it Nocturnal Amentia? They're probably the best one on this one. Really aggressive, really heavy. And yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed the split. It wasn't one of those ones where it was kind of muffled recordings or nothing like that. It was just solid black metal. Really aggressive, really heavy, riff heavy as well, which I love. So if you've never checked that out before, give it a go, because I was very surprised by how cool that really was. And then he sent me a band I'm very well aware of, but this was an album I've never actually listened to, and that is the current album, which still feels like it came out yesterday to me, but it's been out a while now, and that is Akercocke with, what's this one called? The Renaissance in Extremis. This was put out through Peaceful Records in 2017. To me, that, you know, I still remember when this first came out. So these are a London-based death metal, black metal, grindcore / everything else in between. These guys kind of do what the fuck they want, really. Been around since the early 90s. I think they formed in 97, and they've been known for wearing suits on stage, and they're ultra guttural vocals, and you'll sing these weird kind of clings. It's very progressive. They've got the guy behind the drums. He goes by the name Blast Vader, just an insane drummer. And, you know, just a really, really solid band. But this album is a weird one because it is all those kind of elements of them. Like Dan in Consecration, our vocalist, he's a massive fan of these guys. I'm a big, big fan. So I'm well aware of their music for years and years now because of him. And this was a good listen. I liked it, but it's not an easy listen. Like the Project Voices that got these guys in it as well, I struggle with them a lot as well. But yeah, I mean, if you're a fan of that kind of extreme underground death metal with grindcore and stuff like that, you'll obviously know about this band already. But if you've never checked them out before, this is probably a good starting point because this is a very well polished album. It's a bit more modern as well, so it's easier to get into because their earlier stuff is raw as fuck, like really, really raw. So yeah, Akercocke, or Akercocke, I don't know how you pronounce it. And then he sent me some kind of more traditional things that people might be aware of. And this band I've known about for a number of years, but never actually owned anything by it, and that is the band Sadus. And this is their album A Vision of Misery. I imagine this is a repress through Listenable Records. Formed in '85, and this is their third full-length album from '92. And this is a thrash band that kind of almost crosses over into the death metal-esque kind of riffing, I guess. They were a California band, yeah. And this has Steve DeGorio, who's in Death, who's in Testament. He's been in all sorts of bloody projects, and you can really hear it on this album. Obviously, the fretless bass he's known for, and all that kind of proggy weird shit he does on it. And I actually really, really enjoyed this. The best track for me was Deceptive Perceptions, I think it was. There's one that's like really chunky and quite slow, and it reminded me almost like Where the Slime Lives in a way from Morbid Angel. So yeah, that was a really cool listen. I really enjoyed that. And then finally, something the one that everyone knows, and I've already got this on vinyl, so it's really nice to have it on CD, so I can check it in the car. And that was Blessed the Sick by Morbid Angel. But this was really nice. It has the DVD with old Dave Vincent talking with his shades on in the dark that you can find on YouTube, that I watched as a teenager years ago. So yeah, I now have it on DVD, which is really smart. And it's all on one disc as well. It's kind of weird packaging, where one side is a CD, the other side is a DVD. So yeah, really, really cool. Nice little fold out like that. And yeah, I love Morbid Angel. Everyone loves Morbid Angel, so you wouldn't know what that is. So thank you, Simon, for them. They were amazing. I tell you this all the time, you're an absolute fucking legend. And if you haven't checked them out below, obviously leave links to all those bands and you can check them out for yourselves and enjoy them. Now, this next one is even crazier to me. Now, this was a box sent to me all the way from Norway from my good friend Roger, who runs his own YouTube channel, which I'm going to put above here. He should have way more subs than me. And I'm not just saying that because he sent me stuff. I generally feel like he does, because he's one of the most consistent YouTubers for new music. I learned so much from him. Like 90% of my collection in last year or two is because of him and his recommendations and what he shows. He just has a knack, and everything he shows, 99.9% of the time, I really like. There's iffy albums now and again, but that's the beauty of this kind of thing we do. We talk about music, we share music, you know, we learn. And he sent me a box of shit that is just, well, it's not shit, it's amazing, you know, it's absolutely amazing. And every single one of these I love. And I only had one of them already, which is insane. And the only reason I have that is because of his recommendation. So without further ado, I will introduce this stuff that I sent. But the reason behind this, he recommended that I should have this. And that was the new Seep album, Hymns to the Gore. This was put out through, I think, Gurgling Gore and Extremely Rotten Productions. This is the Extremely Rotten Productions vinyl press. There is the chap in question, Romanus. He also runs Gurgling Gore Records, and his real name is Ryan, I believe. And he has a few other projects. One of them I've got, I forget the name of it, but it's really fucking good, like a doomy kind of project he does. So this came out this year. This is a 2022 release. Band formed in 2019. I've got the EP/demo on CD and tape. So I'm a big fan of this project, and it's just no nonsense, really nasty death doom. I mean, even in the liner notes, he prays that his son and wife don't read the lyrics because they're just nasty, just straight up nasty. I mean, the funnest song for me, and the one I actually truly believe in, is Paedophile Genitalia Removal. You know, you get the gist of what this album is about. It's just nasty, just nasty music. There's no nonsense. It's raw. It's simple. It's heavy. it's just fucking nasty, and that is the whole point of it. It's not supposed to make you feel good, it's supposed to feel nasty, and it's just fucking sick. And there he is there looking like a fucking maniac. I don't know what he's doing, but pissing about somewhere. So yeah, that was the whole reason Roger even suggested sending me something. But then he just shat all over that and put loads of quality releases. So I'll start with the CDs he sent me. This one is one I've never heard of before, and he obviously knows I love Finnish metal, like the death metal, black metal. They do it so much better than nearly any country. Maybe Chile are really good for it, and this is one of them that no longer exists, but yeah, it's a full, amazing album. Now, I can't pronounce it, so I will obviously put the text here so you can try and transcribe it. They are a Finnish death metal band that I believe sing in Finnish, and this is totally in Finnish, and this is their last release. Now, this band formed in '98 and they split in 2017, and this is their last full length from 2015, and it's just incredible. If you like Morbid Angel, Gateways to Annihilation, Domination, and latter kind of Morbid Angel with that kind of thick, heavy, kind of chunky guitar tone. Essentially, that's what these guys sound like to me, but with the Finnish kind of guttural vocals, and obviously it sings in Finnish as well. Vocalist there has got an amazing voice, and I believe he's also in a black metal band now. But this album is killer, really riffy, really heavy, no frilliness to it whatsoever. It's just no nonsense, straight to the point, thick, chunky Finnish death metal. And I love shit like that. I absolutely adore it. So if you've not checked that out before, I strongly recommend it, because that was a really nice surprise for me, because I've never heard of them before. And then this one, and this is a 2022 release I never heard of, and I've seen the band logo and I was convinced they were a thrash band for some reason, and dead wrong. Dead wrong. Another Finnish death metal band, and I think this is pronounced Desecresy? I don't know. With Unveil in the Abyss. This was put out through Extreme Music this year. This is a Spanish label. And this is heavy, like really thick, cavernous death metal in that kind of slow down, mid-tempo range. It could almost borderline Death Doom with the kind of harmonies that sit underneath the riffs. But it's more of a kind of like incantation style death metal, but Finnish. So it's got that real thick guttural tone. The guitar tone is really scooped, it's really buried and horrible sounding. It's eerie, it's nasty, and I'm floored by how good this was. And I've made my end of year list, but Roger's really made me struggle, because a few of these I'm going to show you have kind of maybe reconsidered maybe changing it, and I won't obviously spoil that, but he's made it difficult for me, and this was one of them. Nearly went into my top 20, because it's a really, really good album. It's really heavy, it's just my kind of death metal. And if you kind of share the same passion for kind of the same style I like, you'll absolutely love this band. An amazing album. Don't let the cover fool you, because the cover is a bit shit, I won't deny that. It doesn't really do anything apart from a skull shooting some laser beams. But yeah, it is amazing. A really, really good album. Love that. And then this one was high on my want list, but I didn't think I'd ever get it because it was self-released. It's in the States, and the postage is more than the EP's even worth. You know, it's double the EP, and it kind of puts you off buying, especially overseas. And I imagine it's the same for Americans trying to buy from the UK. You find the music you want, but unless you really have the money, you're never going to get it unless it's distroed. And that is the new Black Braid album, or EP. It is an album. No, it is an album. It's a full-length album. This is a 2022 self-titled debut album. This is Black Braid 1, and put out by the guy himself. It's a one-man project by the name of The Witchhawk, and I can never pronounce what the actual name of it is. But it's like Native American inspired black metal. It's got that kind of style behind it. I mean, this is really, really good. And I've seen this in a lot of year-end lists already when I'm recording this video now. And there's a good reason for it, because it is very, very strong. It's black metal, but then it kind of borderlines almost into death metal in some parts, especially on the last track. It has that kind of, again, I'm using the Morbid Angel comparison, but his vocals go really guttural, because he does the kind of black metal barks throughout most of the album, and there's some really nice instrumentals, but then that very last song, he goes full guttural, and it kind of shows you his vocal range is very varied. What was it called? Prying Open the Jaws of Eternity. I mean, every single song on this album is amazing. I really, really enjoyed this. And for Rogers to send me that blew my mind, because this is new, and it's not easy to get hold of. So unless he's got another copy of it, maybe, I don't know. It just floored me, because it was such a cool album. and I didn't think anyone would ever give this away because it's brilliant. So yeah, Black Braid. And then the one that I already have, but I only have it because of Roger and his recommendation, and that is the latest Viogression. And this is the album Third Stage of Decay, which I have shown before, but if you've not seen that video, which I imagine most people haven't, because why would you have done? This is a, when did it come out? Where did I write it down? Yeah, so it's a Milwaukee, Wisconsin band formed in '89. I have their debut on vinyl back there that was reissued by Hammerheart a few years ago. But this is their third full length for 2022. They did disband in '94 and then got back together in 2014. They did put an EP out or an album out in between then, and then they came out with this year. And this is kind of proggy. I say proggy because how it's very progressive in the way the guitar work is. It's kind of sci-fi-esque death metal. It's not your straightforward meat and potatoes groovy kind of death metal. There is elements of that in there from the 90s, and they still have that kind of sound to it, but it's a lot more progressive. It's a bit more of a challenging listen. It's not one you can just slap on and it just goes for 35 minutes and you leave it. It's got lots of little things in there you have to kind of re-listen to pick it all out. So I already have a copy of that. So Simon, if you watch this video, I think you deserve a little treat. Of course it's from Roger, but let me know if you want that, because I will happily send that back to you, because hopefully you haven't got that, because that's a really good album. But then he sent me some vinyl on top of that, like more vinyl, which is fucking mental, absolutely mental. Now this is another finish, but this is more the atmospheric black metal band style. Again, I love that style, and I'll try and pronounce it correctly. Havukruunu, probably butchered that, but this is what it's called. Text will come up here because I can't pronounce it. But this is their EP from 2021. Band formed in 2005 out of Finland, and I think they've done about 3 albums prior to this. And it's just straight, no nonsense, atmospheric black metal with kind of a folky touch to it. Put out by the amazing label Namek Productions. I think that's how you pronounce it. All their releases are solid, all of them. And if you like that kind of atmospheric black metal style with a folky edge to it, you'll get a kick out of that, because this is amazing. And again, another one I wanted, it was on my want list. He hasn't got a list, Roger doesn't have anything from me. I literally got 1 email from him, maybe 2 at a push, and that's it. You know, it's an incredible gift, absolutely incredible. It gets better than that. It gets better than that. He also sent me a repress of this quality album that, again, I had on my want list. I think my friend Wendy shared this CD version of this years ago, and it was on my Amazon want list, and I never bought it. And that is Polluted Inheritance with their debut album Akercocke. Now, this is a Netherlands band that formed in '89, and this is their debut from 1992. But they did split up in 2008, so I don't think they're active anymore. But this is a repress on vinyl throughout Vic Records and Doc Records, and this is in the vein of Massacre, early-esque Morbid Angel. It's that 90s death metal sound that is everyone loves. You know, any band from the 90s that were doing death metal, 99% of the time you're going to enjoy it. We'll get something out of each album, and these guys are solid, really unappreciated band, and it reminds me a lot of Massacre, in my opinion. But you know, they're not copying Massacre, because you know they all appeared around the same time. And this came out in what, 92? I don't know when Massacre's debut came out, but amazing album, really, really heavy, black vinyl, because Roger doesn't buy coloured vinyl unless he has to. Insert looks like that. I haven't shown you the inserts for the other ones, but I don't think I really needed to, because there wasn't much to show. Just solid, no nonsense death metal from the 90s, so Dutch one, really, really cool to have. There's more, there's absolutely more. So this one was a totally new band to me, never heard of them. This is an American band that has the drummer from Incantation, and then a few guys from Ringworm, and this is their 4th full length for 2022, and that is the band Shed the Skin. They're a Cleveland, Ohio band that formed in 2011, and this is amazing as well. Like, I've never even heard of this. This was put out through Hell's Headbangers this year. And he's a death metal band with lots of fast-paced riffing, kind of almost into the thrash elements in some parts. Really, really heavy. No nonsense, groovy death metal as well. Again, an amazing album. Black vinyl with a gatefold of all the lyrics in there. I think there might be an insert in here, I don't know. Yes, there is. And again, it's just solid work. I mean, Roger knows me obviously pretty well because everything he sent me, as does Simon, you know, it's something I really enjoy. And there's a picture of the guys there. I did find this funny though, because they're all really close together. And then this lad here is on his own. And I'm assuming it's because of the sunlight coming through those pillars. But it just looks really funny, like he's just out on his own over here. But yeah, an amazing band, and one I've never even heard of before, and it's just their fourth full length, so I'm obviously going to have to go back and check out more of their work, because it's nice when you get bands that you've never heard of and you generally love them, and I generally love this. This has got a lot of spin since I've had it. So yeah, Shed the Skin with the album, I'm not going to try and pronounce it because I can't, but you saw it down there. And lastly, now this is one that gave me a right headache, because this would have been on my end of year list if I had a copy of it, and now I do, and now I have to decide whether to put it in there or not, because I streamed it a lot, so likelihood is you might see this in another video. And that is the latest album from Imprecation. I mean, the artwork is the whole reason I wanted this, and this is in Nomine Diabole, satanic no nonsense death metal from the States. This was put out through Dark Descent Records. And this is a band that have been around a while as well. They're a Houston, Texas band, formed in 91, then they disbanded in 98, reformed in 09, and this is their third full length for 2022. Now, I swear Roger didn't even show this that long ago, and I streamed it for ages, but when he showed the physical product, that's the reason I love these YouTube videos. So when you see the physical product, you want it more, and this is an amazing vinyl release. And the gatefold is amazing. I love artwork like this. If you've got that kind of medieval satanic imagery, I'm all in. Literally all in. I have so many albums of this kind of artwork. I absolutely adore it. Black metal bands, death metal bands. If anything's like satanic, with a kind of Christian, kind of church-like kind of artwork, I absolutely adore it. Look how cool that looks. And this band, I mean, this is a very heavy album. It's very groovy, chunky death metal, but then also it gets really blasty. Then they kind of put it into mid-tempo elements. There you go, mid-tempo elements halfway through it. I mean, the first track, Reborn in Fire, it's just got this really chunky riff with that kind of half-time bits in it, and oh, absolutely amazing. And then came with a poster. So you've got an insert there with the lads around the table with lyrics, and then you get this really nice poster, which I'm going to put up after this video, with the band logo, which I must say looks awesome. I love that. Excuse me. And then you got the artwork there. But yeah, I mean, for Roger again to send me that, let alone any of it. I mean, like, I was going to do a video like kind of unboxing it, but I swore so much I couldn't really use it, and then the kids kind of walked through halfway as I was doing it, and they kind of ruined it. So I thought I'll just listen to all these, get really in my head, because I like to do that. I like to kind of tell people what these sound like. There's no point me going, oh wow, look at these, and it's like 20 minutes you just watch me kind of wank over a box. So, you know, if I talk about the music, it's more enjoyable for you guys. And yeah, 100% go check this out. Well, all of these, go and check them out. But this was the icing on the cake for that box, because I mean, it genuinely floored me that he sent this, because this is one I've really, really considered. So massive props to Roger there. So yeah, thank you if you got the end of this video and you watched this. This is the last collection update of the year. In the new year, I will do a big vinyl update, I'm guessing, because I'll get some for Christmas, and I've got some back there I want to show people and you can talk about it. I did get another gift, but I will include that in another video, because this video will be too long otherwise. And I've got a few labels to show off as well. And then I've obviously got to do my end of year lists. So I'm going to do an EP one, slash splits one, top 20 of them. And then I'll do a full length one between Christmas and New Year. So you'll see those, hopefully, unless I get the plague. Because I'm starting to get ill again. Because I'm like, again, kids, they cough over you, they sneeze over you, you just can't win. So I hope you have a great Christmas if you celebrate it, however you do. I'm wearing a Christmas jumper for your pleasure. And I'm burping because I'm gassy. So thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing if you're new to the channel, and I will speak to you guys in the comment section. Cheers.